NRG to show us some improvement. They did that, didn't have the best results, but they're heading in the right direction. And now we need to see the same from Complexity on this occasion. Complexity starting on the CT side. We've got Uber moving towards... Oh, he's going to be in A, rather. So I thought maybe they'd be doing a retake setup, but no. He's deep in there.
And hoping to see more AWP for Surreal as well. We can come back to that point in a moment. But first, we have the push here in B storage, which is nice there from Complexity. And some teams do it with more players. I like it with 2 players, actually. It gives you the option to actually fall back if you see some stuff. And with 3 or more players, CT sides tend to commit. And it's not always the best at that range. But they know exactly what's going on. Although nobody's looking towards short, that is a really big misstep there. And that means Peter will take down Surreal for 3. This is not looking good, but what is this? This brilliant play there coming in. And that's going to be what could make the difference here, because that's going to slow the bomb from going down. And the rotating players in Ape and Android here are going to be on the way.
Agia faking, trying to even out the numbers, bait somebody out, but he will go down. And that means no bomb plant for the opponents either, for NRG. So let's see what they opt to do in this round. That's going to be, well, it should be an extra round without AKs because of the lack of plant there. Good work by Uber.
Beast in.
Yeah.
Very nice. And in the end, it made the difference. And with all the Eagles is pretty cool as well to see here out of NRG. We're seeing more and more of that. And it definitely really helps if you want to play that pick-based style. It's interesting, actually, because NRG have invested a lot into this round. They've got a Molotov and a smoke onto God B as well. And that's going to be quite interesting to see how, exactly where he decides to place those. Typically, if they're going to go for an A plays, expect the smoke between the forklift and the red container there to allow the teammates to cross onto the bomb site. But sometimes people like to cut off the container and quad, so the players on the quad position cannot see anything. There's quite a few options there. I want to see which one they pick. There's no flashes left at this point for NRG as well. And there is a very fast response. There's basically 2 players directly on the site and 2 who are very quick to rotate should the push onto A come in. But NRG all of a sudden finding themselves rotating back towards B. And they didn't really give away too much in the way of presence towards A as well. So will Complexity, will they be able to adjust in time? Ooh, Fugly, he's going to pick off Ape in middle. That is problematic. Still going for pot shots there towards the white box towards Surreal. But he will stay alive for the time being.
Android X moving back to the B bomb site. Maybe hearing the T's moving in. Lower's been smoked off. Def and Surreal are around the CT area trying to move in. But Android X, can he stay alive? Can he stop the plant? He's got support from the high ground as well. So far, so good. Tabson, last man standing now. Tabson is notorious with the deagle. We've seen him one dig people many times, but with that amount of time on the clock, he will hold on to what he has, as the round is not salvageable on this occasion. So one more eco from NRG, and then the AKs will be coming out.
It feels quite strange, actually, that in that round, it looked like NRG, they had a plan, and then they decided to go against the plan, and then it kind of sort of fell flat before they could really execute what they had in mind. So I'm not sure if maybe that was the idea all along, or what exactly was going on in their heads, but definitely it was a good defense from Complexity nonetheless. And having forward presence in A main is really nice here. Able to beat Peter away with that FAMAS. And that nade's going to do some good chunky damage as well. So Uber doing a good job there, keeping the pressure up in A main. I like that he actually falls back out of A main as well, as he's done some damage, got some information. And how well do these 2 teams know each other as well? That's always going to come into play as well in matchups like this. Having Android so deep on B storage, and again, something that I really enjoy is all the map control plays we're seeing from the CT is very subtle, but you punish the opposition from not playing that default round. And look at all the information, look at the frags as well. 2 players dead, and that shuts down NRG again in this round. They are forced to go for the A play no matter what happens. Fortunately for them, Legia will be able to get the entry onto the bomb site to allow a path for the bomb perhaps, but Uber's going to come in to try to cut that path off. Takes down Legia. More players to be had here as Tabson's very low indeed. There's a gap for the smoke to allow the CTs to spot those Ts as they make the cross. And Android coming in on the flank. This will be very difficult to handle here for NRG, but at the very least they've got the bomb planted. And there's Android. Easy frag onto Peter. Tabson turns his attention to the assailant on the back, and that is going to be the end of that. At least, again, they got a bomb plant, which is some extra money in the bank. And with the third round lost, that is going to be $2,400, an extra $800 for the bomb plant per player. And you can see that there are sort of some healthy money. They could decide to go for some pressure with this amount of money, get a couple Kevlars in there, some pistols, a few grenades. But so far, Complexity have been so active on the map that they've been blowing NRG up. And that's very interesting because sometimes I have seen the NRG are that kind of team that they are going to have very structured plays. So the best thing to deal with a team like that, if they're very structured, is you take the structure away by taking map control away, by getting early picks. Then you put them in a spot where they have to change their plan. And that is a different skill set entirely for a caller to make.
That is a very novel smoke towards the car. So we've got 5 smokes on the map at the moment, but we'll come back to this later. NRG with more funky strats. Surreal going down towards the car, trying to play as close to smoke as possible. Depth going down on the site as well. Only 2 CTs remaining in this situation. And we've got an M4 and a FAMAS picked up by the T side. That Molotov going to force players away from the default spot, which allows Ape to get a bit closer. Has he spotted the player on high? Well, he's going to take Peter down. Android now alone versus Godby with the P250. They've done great work so far, but can he close it out? Godby, he's in squeaky. He's in squeaky. Oh, the hero defuse. We've seen many hero diffusers coming in so far this week, and oh no, he's denied! He is denied. Oh, that was less than a second. So close and yet so far, Dan.
Fully erect.
What?
Fully erect. What? Why are you looking at me like that? I was adding to your point by saying fully erect. What's wrong with that?
I misheard.
I don't know. I don't, considering the look, I really don't want to know what you think that you heard. Anyway, moving forwards, the double up for the Complexity side might be a way to salvage this situation. It'll be perhaps somewhat unexpected for NRG. We'll have to see how they opt to handle this round. Ooh, again, Android with those pushes. And this time with an AWP in hand. Taking down Fugly is a pretty big play.
Android X.
Yeah, so
23.
So early into the round as well. And this makes things a little bit funky too, because it's really important to have those 5 players alive early on to just establish some presence to force the CTs back a little bit. Maybe he could have taken over Vent Room by himself. That, you know, these things are possible, but just to be taken down immediately means that the energy presence is a little bit could be spread thin, or if it's a bit more concentrated, that's a bit more of a tell for Complexity. When they get the info, it's much more clear as to what they must be up to. And NRG start to go for that A play, but there's 3 players on the A site already for Complexity.
This is a huge round for NRG to win because coL have no money in the bank. They've got no money. Nice pick by Peter. Such an important man for NRG. The can open up for the side. Legia around the door. Sees Uber around the smoke. Just about gets him down. Surreal last man standing on the site. Standing no more. Def is in mid. And there are 4 players alive for NRG. This is huge for them. What is Def looking to do? Still heading towards the sites. Spot's got B. 3 HP. No more HP. So that's the money broken for Complexity early on, reasonably early on. 5 rounds in the bag. And let's not forget, both teams picked cash in their best of ones. Just a reminder how this works. It's a home and away system. Both teams play each other twice. The away team vetoes 2 maps. The home team picks from the remaining 5. I'm actually interested in how things may change over between map 1 and map 2. Do you hold things back for the second map? It creates an interesting dynamic. I'm curious as to see how the teams play it. As you can see, NRG with 3 players over towards B. Did he spot a potential boost there, Fugly? Got a flashbang coming in from a teammate, but Fugly's not facing it. So Android X, who's blind no less. Fugly cleaning things out. Def alone. Nice anti-eco.
Yeah, nice save by Fugly there. Just the single bullets required. Calm stuff. 3-3, and things have been equalized rather quickly there for NRG, who might have been getting a little bit worried as to how the map actually started off. It was pretty scary, but times are looking better. Starting to build some banks. They got a lot of security actually. 10k on Gobby already, so that's really nice. Peter, I wonder, does he have a spawn hit? He's going straight towards B, so maybe Peter can catch a player on B with his fast timing on the AWP. Goes for the angle, but actually waits for the grenades first. And there's been so much pushing here. There's 3 men for complexity. It looks like they want an early B storage take. This is a really smart thing to do against a team that's been constantly pushing you, but Fugly is so phenomenal right now. Just annihilates all 3. So easily done.
Easy for Fugly. Almost playing a rush, as they call it in poker, where you just keep getting the cards, keep playing aggressive, going for it as much as you can. Trying to pull the CT rotation as well, but now we see Uber towards Car, Surreal still towards B, both players separated versus 3. This can change around very easily. I do wonder if any sound cues are being made by NRG, save for the grenades. Tabson moving backwards towards the car. Got to be careful, shoulder scene, and he will get taken down, still facing backwards. Not sure if sight's clear. Trying to do 2 jobs at once, perhaps, in that situation.
Yeah, quite possible. It's kind of, considering the start here for NRG, it's looking a little bit laboured, but we'll see whether or not they can clutch it from here. They've got a great setup, pretty classic post-plant setup with 2 players. And in comes the remainder of complexity. Oh, nade in your hand. That is not a good way to start an engagement. Surreal are going to drop to Alegi as well, who've given away his position. Nicely held onto by NRG. Very advantageous situation, which they close for the 4-3.
Yeah, they're starting to build money. Leggy has suddenly got 10,500. It wasn't that long ago. We were in a round that both NRG and Complexity had to win economically, and now he's got over 10k. That's crazy. Anti-eco round coming up for NRG. Very curious to see how they will play it. Peter going for the short box peak, or the highway peak, as we're in North America. So that's 1 player spotted, but where are the remaining 4? Gobby playing very close to Peter, just in case anybody's around the corner. There is, sometimes when you go into mid, people will boost onto the structure in the middle and run over that rather than trying to run the gauntlet through mid to the other side. Even when smokes are down, you can be sprayed moving underneath the boost by T's who know their angles. So that was one option for people. Uber's pushed all the way through a main. So unbeknownst to NRG, their options are limited. 3 players moving into the B site, and that should really mark a safe, confident round for NRG. Only 2 players left, make it 1. Not a single kill for Complexity in this round, so all good in the hood for NRG. Complexity headed towards maximum loss bonus, should have a good buy in the next round.
I want to keep seeing all this this crazy action from Fugly, man. He's had some really nice rounds. One of those rounds, who was it in? It was an overpass map where we saw a guy walk in and just annihilate 3 people. It was an SK player, wasn't it? It was Taco, yeah. It was Taco. It reminded me of that play from Taco where he just wiped out 3 players instantly with almost 1 spray as he walked into a bomb site. Fugly doing something somewhat similar there to the aggression of Complexity. And the aggression was really nice for both teams because there's so much of a dynamic between on the B bomb side. Obviously, previously NRG had noted that Complexity get quite aggressive there, so they want to put more players towards that spot, and Complexity try to reinforce it maybe in anticipation of this, or just because they want to in the early round take that positioning. So it's a really nice dynamic. It's just funny that it was just shut down immediately by Fugly with that 3k, which has really set Complexity back quite far actually, even though that went into a 2-on-2 in the end. So Complexity down to a decent buy finally, and we see Surreal on the AWP, and there's a pause right now.
Tactical pause for Complexity.
So we can talk a little bit about Surreal and his AWPing, because when he went over to the team initially, they were hell-bent on using Whitmer as an AWP, which we remember. And it felt kind of strange to take Surreal, because we all knew him as a strong AWPer from the UK, that being his thing. And they took him to the team, and he was like the 3rd AWPer all of a sudden, which made no sense at all. So now he's actually on the first AWP, which is great. And if he's got his confidence rolling in, this could be something that could help to save Complexity.
Yeah, I feel like this is the first time I've seen him with the first AWP on the team.
Yeah.
Or the primary AWPer. So
Me too.
I don't know what to expect. I wasn't familiar with him in the UK personally, which doesn't mean he wasn't known. Says more about me than him, so don't worry about that.
That was quite a burn on yourself there.
Well, I played some scrims with the UK guys, and by scrims I mean I joined the IOC channel, and when there were 11 people, I was the one who didn't get to play.
But which UK guys?
People like Vertigo, those kind of people.
Okay. Because the way you made it sound is that I didn't play with this tier of players.
No, not tier. I have no idea how the tiers work in the UK. So.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I can't claim to be the knowledgeable man. Henry G, being more ingrained in that scene than I am, would have better answers in that respect. I know he's very familiar with Surreal.
No,
so
sorry, go ahead.
So Surreal's playing over towards A. Meanwhile, Fugly is smoking off the front of B, which will help him go for a checkers take. Now, often you'll find people bounce a Molotov into the checkers underneath the vent, and then you can bounce a grenade off the wall where Android X is playing, which will collide with him. And not only will it take half or more of his life away, but it will also tell you will hear the cue that he's there. Like Get Right, for example, will do an execute similar to that. I actually did that execute in the match in Cologne, and I wrecked Miss Harvey behind that box with a HE. They weren't showing that, of course. Observing anything else.
Just saying there's no proof.
Well, maybe actually there's a demo, but who wants to watch that?
We have a pretty light control of middle here from Complexity. It's more or less just keeping tabs on middle as opposed to doing too much there. I don't think Def should want to repeat that. He's got to try to fall back. Yeah, and he's going to get taken down by gold B. It's a very interesting position when you're trying to keep tabs on it, because it can be quite hard to fall back if the players get close to white box like that. So you need some flashes from teammates there to help you out. Android is going to be in a great position, and he's causing so many shenanigans with any kind of B aggression. Like, it does get himself into the checkers area and opens things up here as Uber takes down one of the flankers, and Surreal comes into play there. AWP in hand, takes down Fugly. That's the bomb on the floor, leaving Legia in a situation that he cannot win.
Uber going all in. Uber chasing the kill there, but look at the buy that the CTs are going to have. This is an awkward position. Is it more valuable for you to take that gun out of the NRG side? Look at the buy NRG have. They have maximum buy. Bearing in mind that's the first round they've lost in 6 rather. Complexity, that's the first round they won. Why are you chasing frags? Look at their buy. They've got 2 Thermases and a UMP. Uber's gone from an M4 to a UMP because he's chasing frags when they haven't won a round for 5 rounds. That is sloppy, Dan.
Yeah, I never like it. You got to choose the moments to when to prioritize your own economy versus your other team's economy. I think the bad habit is to prioritize the other team's economy more than your own in some of those spots. I see that mistake made more often. Just chasing for the kills. Hello, peekaboo. God B takes down Def, but we get the trade in middle there, so not much ground gained initially. NRG do get towards the vent though with Tabson, but Ape is still in middle, and I think he's looking for challenges. There is a flashbang to maybe get the challenge going. Still looking for it there. Finds Tabson, and now NRG can sort of committed to move into the B bomb site here. They've got the push coming in now. Surreal's on the bomb site itself. He's getting burned though, has to hit the shot. Can't do it under the pressure in that moment. And now it's just down to Ape and Uber on the rotation.
Bearing in mind they've got no money, and they are well out of position, what will they choose to do in this situation? Ape is on the hut leading to vent. Is that a hut? What is it? I don't even know what it is. Looks like they may go for it. Or will they? No deciding against it. I mean, if they all die, their money's pretty much together, but really, it's a very unfavorable situation to go for the retake. Yeah. So, not much value in it.
You have more opportunities to do damage in the following round when when the rest of your teammates are ecoing, and you can play with the ecoing players. You can win the round with what they have actually in the next round.
Odd pop flash here or there.
But they can't win this round. There's just no way. So
very good point, Dan.
It makes a lot of sense to go for the save, because if you're on the T side, it's actually different, obviously, because you don't get any money bonus if you stay alive. So that means your money is not going to be synchronized with your team. So then if you die in the
when you
following
lose by
rounds,
timeout,
then you're screwed.
So Complexity's money is going from bad to worse, while NRG are enjoying the spoils. They're rolling in liquid chocolate. They have eaten the ice luge. They are the chocolate fountain. So what is being done with these rifles on the CT side? Both Ape and Uber are over towards the A site, but then there's no aggression from them. In fairness, NRG will be looking for aggression, and they'll play a slow round because they know that 2 rifles are out on the CT side, so they won't want to run into a stack, as we have seen on Cash from a number of teams. They'll be investigating. So we have Fugly over towards B, and Def is up behind a box and may just take him down if Fugly peeks too far. Oh, he's starting to move back now. That lineup you saw towards A was to smoke off quad, which has been done by Legia. He appears to be doing some kind of fake, maybe trying to draw CTs away, but they are not moving. Surreal is by sandbags in mid, and there are 2 people in B. Def and Android X is dancing around. He's baiting for his teammate, actually. So there we go. Surreal swatted. Surreal spotted and swatted. There's Android X, so the baits and switch has disappeared. Def trying to play the information game, but there were too many assailants in his area. And yeah, there should be another non-round. And now it's about trying to save these weapons, but they're trapped because Legia's coming in on a flank.
Yeah, and even doing damage is okay because, and dying is just because you will be vying with your teammates in the next round. But the sad thing for me in this round is that they didn't find a way. Oh, is there a way for him to win this?
He's in a 1v2, Dan. He's in a 1v2.
Nice 2-man there. Can he expand that? No, he cannot. And that's fine, doing the damage there. I like that he goes for the damage play instead. But the thing that I'm sad about is that they didn't find ways to trade pistol players or get pistol players in engagements and then follow the engagements up with the rifles to try to get the trades. It felt like the pistol players in a large part were not... There was no strategy incorporated with them and the rifles together, working together to get kills in any way, which would have been quite cool to see to maximize your chance to get some frags or maybe even pick up some weapons for your pistoling teammates. But
I didn't mind the plan towards B because they had a plan, Android baiting for Def. Problem for them was it was circumvented by NRG's mid-presence.
Circumvented.
Another eco round for Complexity. NRG being given a great opportunity to just build tons of cash. So great. Oh, okay. I thought that was a 2-man spray, but it wasn't. Tabson got the first one. But again, it's I'm fucking the second one. It's his gun got that. He's got an invisible gun.
I wish you could.
It's Quake.
I wish you could actually set this in games.
Has anyone ever asked the developers though? Probably not.
Just for clients. Just for client side would be nice.
So what's your argument to have this as an actual thing?
I just think it's less distracting.
Apparently everyone on the server now has an invisible gun, Dan.
Ah. Interesting. At least the knife is not invisible. Or was it? That one guy's knife, I swear I saw a guy draw a knife. That was we could see. Interesting.
Yeah, it's one of the great many Go TV bugs.
Oh, there we go. Boom.
Everything, every weapon's invisible. This is awesome. This is going to be very very interesting. Oh wait, no, it's good. It's good. It's all good. It's my own observer machine is invisible now, but on stream it's intermittent. Anyway, let's concentrate on what's going on. NRG, again, playing passive, maybe expecting a change in approach, a change of pace from Complexity to try to get themselves back into winning ways. We've got a crossfire from the CTs in the middle area. Surreal is in a position to rotate between mid and A. And again, he can play the bait position. Got to be careful, though. It's a bit awkward if you're looking towards the boost. But again, he can play the bait position. Android X playing super deep in the B bomb site. The bombs itself is around T warehouse at the moment, but God B is looking for an opening. Spots ahead. And now Ape may have to act, but is it going to be too late? Flashes are coming in. There's another head. Peter goes down, but he should get traded immediately. Indeed, he will. Advantage, though. 4 versus 2 for the CTs, and Android X is still alive on the site. There's a full rotation. A has been abandoned, but NRG haven't quite committed to the B bomb site yet. Def and Uber moving into the vents. Down goes Surreal. And Android X on B on his own that entire time will patiently wait, and Ruin falls.
But NRG, they still have loads of money, so they've got plenty of chances here to grab themselves a very strong scoreline. I mean, the best case for Complexity is to get that 7 rounds, but I feel as though, you know, NRG have been playing definitely a lot better here, especially on the individual level. We're seeing some great pickups from the frag perspective, and there's Android on the side alone, finally being challenged, wrapped around. Here, flashes come in. This is pretty awkward. Finally goes down. Nice from Fugly once again with the rifle, able to take down a player just completely behind him there. And the rotation is fast from Complexity. How many frags are they going to find though? Def with one, trade again. Legia this time. 2 versus 2 with the bomb down. Quite favorable again for NRG. There is some utility to use here that could potentially cut off Legia if that smoke was to land in front of the opening to B storage. That would be really nice. Let's see how it goes and what the choices will be.
Legia doesn't yet realise, well, NRG don't realise that both CTs are coming from CT. Maybe they do now, but is it too late? Because the first frag goes the way of Ape. Down his teammate goes, 1 versus 1. Ape has a kit, trying to go for a shot through the smoke. But again, he has to face the wall. Legia, does he believe? Oh, he's going for some wall bangs there, but he's not going to appear. He thinks it's a bait. Ape, he's too late on the kill, and it's going to be 9 rounds for NRG. And ruined economy once again for Complexity.
It's interesting how the smoke ended up hurting him more than helping him, as he decided not to go for the hold there, actually. And Legia decided to actually just keep challenging from this one area through the smoke instead of trying to go to the other opening through checkers. Yeah, very marginal situation won by NRG there. And we'll have to see whether or not Complexity can somehow steal around away with very inferior equipment. As we can see, just a FAMAS is the best thing that any player on the Complexity is actually carrying right now. Everybody else on pistols, so it is a very tough ask indeed. And NRG opening up with a default in this round, and Complexity's major strength early round at the moment is B, but NRG just playing it very, very default. We'll probably see a mid take around 1 minute, something like that from NRG. That's usually how defaults end up going on this map, or perhaps a little bit quicker. As we see B being elevated into mid now. This is a very important area to control and clear out. It gives them B split or A split potential. And here it is. B pretty much pretty alone, actually. If there was a player to challenge him and win that fight, I don't know how easy it would have been to trade.
Maybe they're reading that Complexity have 1 gear. Oh, the timing. Sometimes things just not going to work out for you. 3 men over towards B for coL. But all their positioning was passive. They won't have any time. There was no way for them to get information. No time for the other team to react. It's getting picked off 1 by 1. And that is a solid first half from NRG. I'm not sure if Complexity have a coach at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually either. I don't know. Complexity have somewhat fallen off of my radar just because it's, you know, it's been a while. Well, they haven't really accomplished too much yet.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, again, I just think chasing the frag when they had no money, like no money. It just kind of sticks in my mind. Anyway, we're into the next pistol round. Uber appears to be AFK at the moment in spawn, but the rest of his team, oh no, he's back. Right then, he's back, but he's had no time. The time's run out, the buy time. He's got no utility and no Kevlar.
First round save, let's go.
Gotta love it when someone's AFK in a pistol.
Must have been putting the kettle on. That's what I would be doing if that was me.
Right then, NRG, perhaps with a hard read as to the intentions of Complexity, have got 2 people close, and Legia on the car. It's going to work out though. There's isolation thanks to the smoke. Very patient shooting from Pugly, but he can only get 1. Ape hunting, that's a very nice shot onto Tabson. But now we've got 2 more CTs. The 1 tap's a real. Gobby looking for more. Again, very patient shooting Always good to see in pistol rounds. Man advantage though for Complexity. Can they close this one? There's a flank coming in for Peter in main. Facing two at the same time. Android X delivers with the USP, leaving Godby alone versus Android and Uber. Android looking for his third frag of the round. On the high ground, may avoid getting headshot. Double peek coming in from the T's, and indeed it will be Android to get the third kill. So a successful pistol round from Complexity. Perhaps their T half will be stronger than their CT half.
Yeah, and the missed opportunities here from NRG can often happen on a pistol round. Sometimes, for some reason, you just can't quite get the connections. It's not as bad as it used to be. It used to be that it was much more inconsistent before there was various updates to hitboxes and whatnot, and also the netcode. But either way, I'm quite curious to see how this NRG round works out, because they've opted to invest in Deagles. In fact, Tabson and Fugly, the guys who got kills, managed to actually get armor, like a good chunk of armor with that. So, ooh, Complexity showing a nice anti-eco drill here with all the Molotovs. Coordination, I'd say 90%, not 100%, 90%, let's go. But it's going to work out pretty wonderfully here. It's so nice as well, because it's such a direct counter to what the Deagles could possibly be good at. If you just get onto the bomb side immediately, get the plant in, there's very little the Deagles can actually accomplish from that position. The Deagles are good defensively and on peaks, but not on a retake situation. They're not good with, if you are forcing them to very close ranges, generally speaking, because they can't get away without being traded in that situation. So that was a perfect round for Complexity. I really like it. And NRG don't get really anything done. I mean, they got 2 kills. That was about it.
God B with a HE. HE onto God B. And this is an eco round from NRG with direction. Let's stick 5 people on the B bomb site. Combine our forces, like when the Power Ranger Dan has all the thingies together, and they make a Megazord. It's a Megazord, right? I miss that guy from Power Rangers. You know, the super pale white dude who was in the little tube thing, or the big tube thing rather. Whatever his name was. Someone told me his name. I know production. Someone knows. The dude in Power Rangers in the tube. I wonder what was in the tube. Complexity making their way to the A site, which they will find is empty. And now I do wonder, once the bomb gets planted, what NRG will opt to do. Will they just all run to their deaths and offer kill bonuses, or will they just stay where they are? Zordon, thanks, producer Reese.
The funny thing is that Complexity have, I think, much cleaner looking anti-ecos than NRG did. NRG's anti-ecos were not as coordinated, not as the plan was not as clear, but Complexity looking quite good there actually, which is promising, because it also means that when you're in a position of advantage, it allows you to not have any weird leaks where you give those advantages away when you should never have done so, because the advantage is so strong in anti-ecos. And you can see here, okay, they lost 2 players again. I think losing 1 to 2 players is within the realms of acceptable loss. It's not ideal, but it's okay. And either way, you can see the money's growing for Complexity steadily but surely. And NRG, this is their first buy, and this becomes kind of a pivotal moment in the match now, because NRG, after saving those rounds and Complexity building money and so on, if this is their moment now that they can actually stop the momentum of Complexity. If they don't, it actually could really swing to Complexity's favor quite hugely. It will be quite fun to see how that develops,
let's bear in mind, Complexity have won both pistol rounds now.
Yeah.
So
that's
that's essentially afforded them 6 rounds.
Yeah.
Which means they've won 2 buy rounds. And NRG, well, let's see what they can do on this occasion, shall we? Peter with the AWP stuck behind the smoke, but he's delivering 1 kill at the very least. Maybe susceptible to Molotov. Speaking of which, there is one. Oh, it's spreading. He's stuck in the corner. He's going to go down. I've got a story about that later on. It's a sad story. Legia down in CT. Got a teammate behind him in Tabson. Fugly waiting for any potential flanks in the middle area, but he needs to start pushing. That bomb is ticking. And the last 2 players don't have any kits. And Fugly's decision has maybe been made for him. 4 players still alive for Complexity. And they're hunting. Surreal going towards the middle area as May 8th. There's a Molotov on Old Inferno in the bedroom off the stairs where it would spread. And if there was a CT in there, there was space in the corner, but then the Molotov would spread to the corner, and then they were too deep to escape, and that would happen. The BBQ.
It is fun times. It was nice as well because Def was really fast. He basically just threw it through the smoke as well. So that was really nice of Def to just nail that immediately before Peter could even think about it. And Complexity are doing really well now. I mean, we have the an AWP on NRG, and it is on Peter, so it's going to be fun to see what he can manage to muster with this one. A very timely smoke to stop him from getting a peek in. Would he go through it? That is an interesting choice potentially. Looks like they're going to boost. And the funny thing is that it actually might end up working out if they do go for it. Okay, he's not interested in the boost. Because it's actually hilarious because they actually were deep in mid, which would mean that the boost would be horrible, but then they went back towards vent, which means the boost would have been better. But either way, we have Complexity now almost on that B-bomb side. Peter smoked off again. Can you see? The vision is very slight.
It's got to be fast. I think the smoke above made the smoke below better, which I have never noticed before. So we've got a real game in our hands now, moving towards 10 to 10. And now NRG would be good to try and protect Peter, which they appear to be doing. Legia on short. Maybe that run distraction, I don't know. But it's going to be very important for Peter to try and hold on to the AWP. People are headed in his direction. Uber up close. Oh, no, trade's coming in. Def will save him. But again, Peter, he looks good to save the AWP now. And he will need it. Maximum loss bonus coming the way of NRG. So they'll have opportunity to deliver once again. But Complexity in a good spot to take the lead. And again, there's a number of players on Complexity. Bearing in mind 4 players are alive right now. 2 of them have more than 10k. So they can continue to string along a good lead. But again, if NRG win a round and Complexity break them afterwards, then that's going to put Complexity very close to winning the map, unless they mess up on an anti-eco/force-buy.
Cyril has the timing with the AWP. He got smoked off, and he, I think, pressed fire too quickly there, or quicker than he thought. So didn't get a shot off through the smoke. Ooh, that is disgusting. That is disgusting.
It's abhorrent, Dan. Complexity doing what was done to them by NRG.
Also quite disgusting.
Hello, this is an interesting round. I like the courtesy pop flash, a safety pop flash. Uber's still in spawn on the road sign, keeping an eye on any aggression from B. 4 players on both sides at the moment. I do wonder if there'll be a push somewhere from NRG. Minutes on the clock, and Complexity haven't really got any significant map control. Ape is gone all the way back to T-spawn to smoke off the connector, as you can see. Oh, he's messed it up. He's messed it up, Dan. He has nosed it right up.
Oh dear. Interestingly, though, NRG read the situation well, because Complexity's main information was that middle was clear from Def's poking there. And so they decided to go B. But NRG sort of read into this a little bit. They got 2 players on B, a player who could be quick to rotation. Actually, that said, Peter is actually moving in between A and B. It seems like they don't know, but now they know that the bomb has been spotted. Great position for God B. Usually this is a one-and-done position, but he's going to get himself 2 frags, almost a third as well. Now Peter's in position to capitalize upon the chaos as the bomb is picked up, but he goes off of the angle just in that moment. Oh, missing the shot now. Very awkward. Peter might want to reset himself instead of committing, but the committed play will mean that he will die, and now Tabson is going to be in a winning situation. There wasn't quite enough time. I thought there was enough time.
The Molotov killed Ape.
Oh my goodness.
He died to the Molotov.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
It's crazy.
It's quite rare, actually, the Icarus blue M4. I don't see that very often. But that Molotov was money. From out of nowhere. What a crushing way to win a round. And again, we mentioned the implications for NRG if they lost that round. What a way to win it. What a way to win it. But again, Complexity will still have the money pressure. Even after this round, they can probably buy again with a few drops here and there. So NRG have to defend once again. NRG have next to nothing in the bank. Took a lot of damage in that round.
Lost the AWP as well.
One player surviving, indeed. They have, yeah. Got B on the UMP. So, less than ideal for both teams, but again, all the potential right now is with complexity. What can they do with it? That's the question. 2 players in mid. Tabson getting cheeky around the smoke. Oh, did we see a tag there? We saw a frag, in fact. Almost a frag elsewhere, though. Tabson on 1 HP, Ape on 15. That's quite the exchange. Precarious for both sides. 3 in A for the CT side. Got B moving towards checkers. There is a smoke down in B at the moment. He's only got a UMP. He's got a UMP and a Molotov and a flashbang.
And a dream. A dream of glory. And he's dead.
Firing squad, Dan.
There's no Valkyries to pick him up. Take his spirit up and take him to Valhalla. There was no glory there. That death was not righteous. 1 HP on Tabson. It's not a good place to be in right now.
Yeah.
They will save anyway, so...
He's number 1 on the keyboard, and he has 1 HP.
I wonder if he'll be able to survive, because Complexity are in a spot where their money is... They should definitely... they need to try to eliminate 2 at least of these guns. They need to kill 2 of these guns. At the very least.
God B has called for the pause.
Because the money on the T's is good enough for them to hunt. And lose at least 1 or 2 players, because NRG will be broken so heavily off this round. It's fine if they lose 2 or 3 players themselves.
Oh, man.
Oh, and Tabson's last one's left. It's got 1 HP.
The Android X is exploding, Dan. Like a Galaxy 7.
I wonder if he got that name from Dragon Ball Z.
I just think of Android phones. I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z, apart from they have big hair. Gravity-defying hair. Why does their hair defy gravity, Dan? What's the scientific explanation for that?
Well, it's an anime, James, so I don't know what you want from me right now.
I want scientific explanation. That's what I want.
Moving on.
So it's a tactical pause from NRG.
That manhole cover looks like it's in excellent shape.
It does, yeah. I mean, the ground around it is worryingly cracked.
Yeah, but
maybe it's going to be maybe it'll turn into a sinkhole.
It's weird that it looks so in such good condition when the ground around it is indeed about to. That's not a good place for a spawn. If you think about it, people spawn there repeatedly.
Dad, I emailed Valve
these
today.
days.
I emailed Valve today
Yeah.
because I looked around Italy, right, and the kitchen area in T-Apps, they've replaced the kitchen. They've installed a new kitchen. It's seen some wear, but it's not like a gross kitchen that was in the previous.
I think I saw this tweet.
In the previous Italy, but Italy, Inferno. So excuse me. But they have those same grimy pots. You got to upgrade the pots, man. You can't skimp on the pots. You can't install a new kitchen.
Maybe they're waiting for a delivery.
And then skimp on the pots.
Took me a couple of weeks to get pots and pans.
I'm gonna check my email
into a new place.
and see if they've replied yet. They have not replied. This pleases me.
You didn't even cook. What do you care?
It's about aesthetics. It's psychologically harming to see. It's like there's mincemeat on the outside of the pots.
Shouldn't you be more focused on good crosshair placement as opposed to? I don't think looking at those pots is in any way. I don't think those pots are on any angles that you should be watching, James.
I have a different approach to the game. All right, don't judge me. Crosshair placement. I can't play anymore.
But I saw you playing earlier.
Yeah.
And then shaking your hands because you're in pain, but doing it anyway because you're stupid, James. You can't disagree because it's completely true.
I can't disagree.
I was looking on it in judgment. I was judging you, James.
It's crazy, man. Both my forearms were hurting.
Yeah, you should need to stop, otherwise you're going to make it much worse.
This is correct. That's why I'm not going to bring my gaming laptop on our next epic journey, our 3-week travels.
Is it 3 weeks?
Yeah. Well, for me it is. For you it's 2.
Okay.
Because I'm going to Milan this week. So.
Yeah, I mean, I stopped for 2 weeks when I had problems. When I had but you didn't have the tingling. I had the pins and needles and all the tingling as well, which is a pretty common symptom. But it went away after 2 weeks of just like not doing anything. Catch up on series. I don't know. Read books, mate. Read some books.
Read
Watch some
books,
demos.
yes, yeah. Doing some production of my company, that'll be fun. Anyway, 11 to 11. NRG are in difficult times. Complexity, they missed one opportunity to break them and they made it on the second. Surreal watching B from T-Spawn. And that is a two-man push coming in. They're trying to do a run boost. Oh, they're going to fail. They're going to fail it again. Gobby has to move. There we go. Surely Surreal saw that. Surely he saw that. He's like, wait, A up, A up. As, I don't know where he's from in the UK, but maybe they said A up. His team are delivering elsewhere. I'm going to keep an eye on Peter on the in the meantime. Surreal's actually, bearing in mind Surreal's only got an AWP, he is moving forward. He has Android X in fairness for support. Well, now almost the entire team for support. Do they have a read that Peter's position? Oh, they're going to kill him with a Molotov. With that position, pretty much always means nobody else is in B. But now the CTs have rotated fast enough. And now it's a guessing game for Complexity as to where the CTs are. Def has made his way to Highway, which is going to be important. But the CTs are being quiet now. But indeed, the A site is clear, which they will soon find out. Gobby and the Fugly over towards the car. So this investment of 5-7s and coL won't work out for the CT side. And they're not at maximum loss bonus at the moment because they won that one round. They've won one round, Dan, in this half. They've won one round from 8. But that tells the story because I think if you wait, no, it doesn't tell the story that I wanted to tell. But it's not a good CT half from them. They are unable to defend. They are unable to buy in this particular round. I do wonder. We didn't really see Complexity step it up a gear on their CT side. We didn't see the aggression come out from them. But NRG were looking for that the entire half, in fairness. But will we see it from NRG when they have money again?
Yeah, well, Complexity did it right at the start, but then it started getting shut down, seemingly. And I really liked it, which is kind of sad.
You like it being the aggression or being shut down?
I liked the fact they're taking the aggressions, but I think they were a little bit too liberal with it. And either way, Complexity right now looking in really good stead, to be honest. I was quite worried for them, but seemingly they are pretty confident on their T side. And one thing that, again, is very good is that we've seen pretty good anti-ecos. I think pretty much all of them, including the anti-force buys, have been quite solid. And, you know, that's one thing that NRG didn't do so well. NRG actually lost a lot of players when they were doing those kinds of rounds. And that harms their ability to have better chances in future rounds. And now it's really down to having a good round here for NRG because they are up against it. It's 11 to 13. Complexity getting close. Are they going to go for the bum rush? That would be quite interesting in a round like this. Do they have the set piece?
This is what I was talking about. Those nades into the vent area. They want to break the CTs immediately.
Oh, nice. This is like that. This is like that Existence, the old Existence B set piece rush. Oh no! Oh, that they didn't check. No, well, they didn't have a Molotov, I guess. Or how did Legia get in there? I don't even know. But he dies. But very well executed. You could see that Def was when he ran through the smoke. There were flashbangs going off. There were smokes forwards, and he was staring straight into the corner position there, which is the job of one guy. One guy has to do that. The first guy has to spot that position, as it's the most scary position. And once you've thrown all the grenades immediately deal with pretty much everything else just for the beginning. So it's important to have that entry fragger basically pre-firing that position. Again, like Existence, I can't remember which player it would be back when he was on the G2, way back when you saw the strategy a lot. But yeah, it's very strong when executed correctly.
Around 3k coming the way of NRG for losing this round. This is not ideal to stop Complexity from getting to match point. Will they feel like they have no choice? Look at the money on Complexity. Yeah, so they have barely had a failure on this round. They've got like 13k each before this buy comes in.
Yeah, and that's entry we just saw there, which was what I was talking about with the Existence version. I've got a feeling it might have been RPK or something. I'm not sure actually. RPK used to carry the bomb on that round, but anyway, you'd always pre-fire. They go just blindly pre-fire that spot. Not even like just close your eyes and pre-fire it, basically. Just spray around the corner, and it's so effective. And NRG looking to save themselves here. They got the AWP of Peter to try to hold things down, but he's not in the right position. The push is coming to way. He's on B, but Legia with that P250 doing some grand damage there. Still though, 3 versus 2 with the smokes up. The bomb should go down without further issue now for Complexity, and it'd be very shocking for them to lose this round still from this position.
Peter's got the AWP. Took Uber out a few seconds ago. Got B charging through the smoke, leaving Peter alone to try and stop match point. It's amazing they got this far in this round, all things considered. And who better than Peter to try and clutch it in this situation? No one. Oh dear. Can he get the second frag though? That's the question. Can he get the second frag? Picking up the AK, very smart, going high again. But we've got Surreal being the aggressor now with the pistol. Taking the fight to Peter, taking Complexity to match point.
It's so smart when you get the opportunity, when you're in a clutch like that. If you have the opportunity, you haven't been detected yet, and you can jump on the container, it's almost always going to be really, really strong. I've seen it so many times. Hiko, just watch Hiko clutching on that bomb site. It's so effective because no one's looking high. And especially if you haven't seen a player, not in that vicinity. Everyone's watching angles to main, to short, to CT, and so on and so forth. No one's looking in that kind of spot. So it's usually good for one frag, at the very least. And Complexity, they're looking really strong. And a lot of it, I think, is off the back of those B plays. We've seen it a couple of times from them, and it's been quite effective. And so I would love to see them continually running that. Back when Astralis was very good, it was basically what won G2 that game, because they kept running against Astralis, and Astralis, and back then when they were actually very good, they couldn't stop it. They tried to adjust multiple times, and that one strategy broke them, and it won the match for G2 back then. So yeah, I can't wait to see that more from Complexity's T side.
Last chance saloon for NRG. Fugly and Tabson trying to stay active. Peter over towards A on the low ground. Has been known to stand on the barrels as well. But we have the execute coming in towards the B bomb site. Will they commit, however? Legia takes Ape down. He's still holding on to Checkers. Pop Flash comes in. He could take another one. Uber, that's a bomb. There's a trade. But the advantage is still with NRG. Cyril collects the bomb, but now Fugly is in a position to come in for a flank. Tabson going to shut Cyril down as well. So NRG not out of this just yet, but again, they're going to have max spies coming at them every single round. Surreal and Android, 12k plus, Ape 10k plus, nothing but guns coming their way now.
Yeah, one thing to note there as well from Complexity is that was kind of like a bit of a desperation play. They didn't have the full set piece ready. They lost a player. They'd already lost some grenades. It clearly wasn't the plan at the start of the round, but it was something that they're like, well, we're not really sure what to do from this spot, so let's just run this with the players that we have and see what we can do. The molly on headshot's always going to be a good shout. So it's a good attempt, but NRG shut that one down, and double up from them now might be quite problematic to deal with unless Complexity just hit a bomb site really quickly. Like A, for example, would be really nice to see a fast play onto A. This mid presence from NRG is kind of intimidating, I've got to say. Will Complexity just have depth here alone? Because unless he wins this one-on-one, it might even be a 1 versus 2 if he's not careful. It's going to be very challenging here if he dies. I don't think anyone can trade for him. Legia's sitting in this. Oh no, there it is. The molly to sandbags. Legia's burning alive. There it is. That's going to tell depth. Surely that is a CT there, but he's not spraying the angle. He's just hiding. That's actually quite intelligent. Legia peeks out, doesn't see anything.
What was that? I don't know where Peter just took damage from. He was on the highway, but nobody that I could see was holding an angle unless it was from the middle of mid, from T Warehouse. Complexity starting to increase their hold of mid now. 30 seconds. Android blind in the middle of nowhere, but they're splitting the B bomb site. There's only one in B. God B's rotating, but it's Peter alone in the B area. That's where the fight is. Down go the CTs, but there's only 2 Ts remaining. The spray coming in, but Uber's running out of bullets. He's going to go back, could get double pick, goes wide, but not wide enough. Legia shoots him straight in the face. Surreal to try and clutch it. Now we can see what this AWP can do. Maybe 2 players coming in short, close. This is the first one. Gets second, but again, it's the AWP. He can't fire another shot fast enough. So it's another round lost for Complexity.
Just wondering like what the plan was from Def there, because he has this opportunity around middle. And he kind of just stays there. I guess he feels like he can't make the frag. But you know, it feels like they could have taken middle together. They know the player's on sandbags. He's stuck in sandbags, but he just hides and waits for his teammates there. It's an interesting one. I don't know what to think of it. I'd like to watch it again actually, to see if what the opportunities were there. But yeah, Complexity are not able to close that one down. And are they going back for the B set piece again? This set piece, I first saw it from existence 6, 7, 8 months ago. It's very strong. Looks pretty good to get in on the entry there. Looks like the B bomb site's been given up, and that is a good reaction actually in many senses for the NRG side to adjust to what could be a devastating set piece should they have players on the bomb site. There's so little you can do from checkers and on the site. But if you stay out of the site, you can just go for the retake, and that's what they're doing.
Legio's been waiting for the opportunity to move into the vent, and he picks the right one. Down goes Uber, leaving Surreal alone versus 4, pushing through the smoke, but he's going to need a lot of frags. There's the first one. Spots the player on the site, and now the double peek comes in. Done good damage, though. Bearing in mind, the T's can still buy. The buys can continue. Android X almost with 9k. I mean, it has to continue. It's the last round now. We'll see. Okay, NRG can spread the wealth, so life shouldn't be too tough for them despite the losses in that round. Complexity, one more crack at the whip. They've won so many rounds. Apart from the last 3 rounds, NRG only won 1 in that half, but when it counts, they're stepping up. Final test for both sides before we head to overtime.
Yeah, and I really love the adjustment on B, where they just don't have anybody in B. That is gorgeous stuff. Again, it's a good way to try to counter that B set piece. It's one option. It's not always going to work, but that time it worked very well. And Peter with a nice pick there in the middle. Looks like we're probably going to overtime at this rate, unless there's a really huge play to be made from the remainder of Complexity. But I'm not sure what the opportunity for them to get in onto a bomb site will be like at the moment. I mean, it's going to require some insane entry fragging, that's for sure. Surreal is looking to get into position here. 3 players on the bomb site. 3 players on the bomb site. Def comes up from short. If he can get an entry frag from there, maybe he can cause the distraction they need, but they are blind. Great kind of flashes. Def comes in, but he's only good for 1, and that's going to be that. Overtime between NRG and Complexity on the first of 2 cash games between these 2 teams. And I'm starting to favor NRG, actually. I've got to say, from what I've seen. Although it did seem a bit worrying how much they struggled on the CT side generally.
Yeah, I mean, they won the last 4 rounds, but other than that, they got dominated.
Yeah.
Tabson has called a pause. $10,000, 3 rounds per half. Are we going to see double AWPs? We have had a lot of overtimes in the last 7 days. We've seen some crazy double AWP situations. But no, we're just going to see the 1 AWP on both sides. Again, it's a big gamble if you take a round with double AWPs. I think it was Immortals who went for double AWPs on a map on the T side, which is very interesting. But anyway, back into here. People not going crazy with their economy. So, all things being well, the momentum is with NRG at the moment.
It was Mirage, by the way.
Mirage.
Which is why it stands out, because it makes no sense.
We see the aggressive play. It's a rare one, but it's always cool to see that play. And it's just the element of possibility there. They don't even need to hold forward positions. Just the fact that they could. And it's a risk to check. If you try and clear Toxic, they could be with an off angle from the close checkers area. So many problems for Complexity now, so they may feel compelled to go elsewhere. That said, there's a push from Tabson in main as well as Gobby gets traded. So Complexity may be trapped physically by Tabson in main and psychologically by the smoke grenade that was over towards B. What are they going to do?
Yeah, the push comes in slowly into middle. Ape looking to get an entry frag. You might want Surreal to be leading the push though, as he has the AWP, and it looks like is he going to be the first to make the peek? Okay, yes, on the white box, good stuff. finds a player. How much did Fugly see? He saw enough, I think. And that call goes to his teammates. And tabseN's pushing the back. tabseN could catch the entire team if they rotate towards A, but he's just going to wait there until he gets confirmation of the B play. Legia he's done this before, and they don't learn, James. They don't learn. Takes 2 players down. That is damage that cannot really be sustained. Still, it's a 2-on-2. They have no time to plant the bomb. I don't think they have time.
No, they don't have time.
Oh,
they don't have time. What a disaster. Interesting decisions from Complexity there. They had, I want to say it was Surreal who was, no, it was Uber. Uber was outside B for ages, just waiting. Then he started throwing that smoke you see there, the Molotov, as if he was taking checkers. But Legia, all the time, was already in checkers behind the box, just waiting. And then they just all decided to bundle through mid into the vent. Maybe, I don't know, because they faked B, and then they went B like 10 seconds later. So maybe they read that the CTs realized it was a fake. Either way, it's what the power of one man, Dan. The power of one man change everything. They should hear tabseN's jumping, but they're not trying to spray. Surreal towards Squeaky, and they're charging out, but they don't check the angle. tabseN with 2 kills. He jumped so many times that they must have heard him. 3 versus 4. Legia close to the forklift. Could get taken down. He sees an elbow, and that's enough for the frags. And NRG for 1 on the site as well. And the bomb should get planted here. Man advantage for Complexity now. Never mind. Surreal's taken down. Uber's heavily damaged in main. Must be spotted. So NRG has a lot to do.
Yeah, he's been the standout though so far. One of. He'll make his way around the smoke. A big play for a moment that is going to be demanding big plays. And there is the first frag. The spray comes in, and he drags it across GobB's face. And that will be the round there for Complexity. Another clutch from NRG. He has been dominating for Complexity. He is by far the standout there. 36 and 19. The closest man to him is, well, very far away. 23, a mid 23 kills compared to his 36.
Yeah, Legia's up there with 31 as well. Also got a UMP for this round. So the CT money has been stretched to its limits. tabseN over towards A. Will he be aggressive again? Fugly, I think, is lining up for a flashbang. Indeed, he is, and tabseN will move forward. Meanwhile, Peter's doing the same towards B. If he jumps on the box, he may spot Uber just in time, but no kill. Where is Peter going to go? Makes the right play, gets out of there, and GobB covers his back. Early advantage, NRG. Let's not forget, tabseN still in main.
Yeah, the main play is so nice, having someone on lockers, all that information for your team. However, Def, usual shenanigans from him, looking to clean out middle a little bit. Nade there, smoke to deny information from the CTs. The only way to get information now is from short, but it is, well, it's a place that it can be quite risky, and with the man advantage, they don't want to take any risks at this point, so I like that they're playing passively. Now, Complexity just continuing to work middle. And one of the best options for them here is likely going to be to split onto the A bomb side, actually. But it looks like they're going to go towards B. They're starting to make their way towards B. They actually have a lot of Molotovs, so this could work.
They've messed up their short smoke, though, which does create doubt for the CTs if anyone's close, short, or moving into connector. But the CTs know because they messed up their smoke. Def is continuing in that area, and that's pulling the CTs towards them. Already 3 in the B bomb site, and Fugly's going down there as well. So maybe the gap in the smoke is giving the entire game away for Complexity. Are they going to have a successful push on the site? That smoke on the site could be from the CTs. It is advantageous for them with the T's pushing the site, and they're getting ruined. Our Complexity, but it's down to 1 versus 1. The bomb's on the site though. Def on the high ground. Spot tabseN behind him, but he's hunting the frag with 9 seconds. tabseN trying to get into CT, can't do it in time.
That is gutting. I don't know. I don't even know if he would have had time to plant.
He would have had time to plant.
It would have been like a second or 2 to spare at most, but it would have been. Yeah, he had to plant. He had to go for it straight away, basically. Oh no, taking that one-on-1 there, and then realizing I've made a terrible mistake.
No double ups on this round either. 1 for both sides. Complexity with the thin lead going into the second half. So let's see what these teams are made of. Legia moving towards the squeaky door. 3 people in mid for Complexity. Uber over towards the forklift. Surreal in the back of checkers as Legia was. NRG playing off angles in the vent. He can pop in and out. apparently Peter's screen is sideways. So they are not live for the time being. I think it was, there's some kind of like control left or something like that with the arrow keys. Because I did it once by accident as well. And I had no idea how I did it. But I guess I was trying to crouch but I don't use these control arrow keys, so I don't know how I would have done it. But like you could press down. My screen was upside down. It wasn't even sideways, it was upside down.
Really?
Yeah. And I didn't know what I did or how I did it. So I had to search the internet with my screen upside down for how to make it go the right way up again. It's actually quite easy to do if you know how, but I don't remember how, so.
Well, it's never happened to me, so yeah, I have no experience with this.
Thanks.
With this crazy.
We'll try Control Alt down.
Upside down.
Control Shift down.
I've had it before where I think well there's that thing where you're like floating in the skybox, then you press jump and it fixes.
Oh yeah, that's entirely.
That's yeah.
Yeah, no, this isn't a bug so much as it's just a command, a keyboard command to change the orientation of your screen. It's a Windows thing, along with restarting with no warning.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
we've had that.
Obviously, the restart with no warning. I'm very familiar with that one, but yeah, I didn't know the
orientation thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I remembered the command, but maybe it's like Control Windows and don't know. This is my observing machine here.
Is there
we have screens there.
Is there a function button? Maybe that will help you. No.
No.
This keyboard sucks.
It's a terrible keyboard now. The game is unpaused, so Peter's screen has been corrected. Or perhaps he has rotated his screen. Can you rotate your screen?
Yeah, I can actually.
So can I.
Really? With the 21.9 or whatever?
No,
ridiculous.
not that one.
Okay.
Well, bearing in mind I've got
that would be hilarious.
I've got 5 monitors. Anyway, Complexity with a lead at the moment. We have a similar execute from NRG towards B, just denying information to the CTs. Again, Android X is near the vent, and he would be important in that regard. But Leggy is molotoving the vent, as you can see. Once that molly goes, perhaps Android will pop back in again. Will he have time? He will, because they're still playing passive T's towards B. They're not close to the vents. Again, you have to... Android X is standing, but he should be crouching if the vent is unbroken. Otherwise, he won't be able to see through it properly.
One of the sad things there as well about mollying the vent is sometimes like there can be multiple levels to it. Might have to go into that in a second because we do get the push coming from Peter. And Ape is waiting below. He is salivating, waiting for somebody to peek him. But the point. Okay, I still can't. I don't have time to make this point. So so it's one of the classic situations. So it looks like finally NRG ready to go over the top in middle, and they will make it happen. But this is the point I was going to make, is that the Molotov went in the vents, but no one did anything with it. So there's a reboost in there. Android gets 2 kills because they think that it's safe, but it's not. So you need to push with the Molotov most of the time, although to get the full value. But still, the trades are made positively here for NRG, and Complexity are going to scramble onto B to try to defend, but it's going to be tough. And there's an incendiary on Legia, so this is going to be very impossible for Surreal, surely.
2-2. Lovely flash coming in. Easy for Uber.
Nice.
Surreal goes down in the meantime. That's going to bring Complexity to match point in the first of 2 maps of cash between these 2 sides.
Yeah.
So what has Peter got with him? Leggy has definitely dropped him an AWP. So he's good to go. And he will need to, Peter, arguably, well, he is the talisman for NRG. He's the man who needs to make it happen when the chips are down, when life is tough. Android X with a completely different setup now. Previous rounds, he was in the vent. Now he's behind the box on B with just Uber going aggressive towards main again. Not sitting. Oh, man.
Oh, nice call.
Dan,
teammates.
Technically, he got legged.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Low hanging fruit there. Yeah, that was really nice. Especially, you know, initially they flashed. So like that play originated because they I can't remember who was playing with Surreal in middle, but they flashed the Peter so that Surreal could take the angle with the AWP safely, which meant that Peter fell back and then was susceptible to that. So it's kind of nice that they had the push there from Uber, that he understood what was going on there to capitalize. Really nicely done. Although Looks like the advantage that they had is slowly melting away. Gobby's in middle. A's got control of it, and they're ready to split onto A now. And there's only Uber. He's got 12 HP. This is going to be tough. Very
Easy
nice.
for Uber. 2 more players to find for him. And this could have been better for NRG, but let's see if they can do it. Fugly alone now. He's had some nice performances for NRG so far, and some multi-frags, and he'll need all the frags on this occasion. There's a good start. 2 players left, 20 seconds though. They don't need to face, they want him to try and plant the bomb. Android popping out and he will finish things off. 19-16, Complexity take the first round. In that round, Legia was moving towards Squeaky Door. He spotted a CT, but he didn't take him out.
Yeah.
He had his back to Legia, who was trying to make the best of the situation, but the guy just did a 180 and wrecked him. And maybe if he gets a kill there, they're in a stronger position, they can have a better pinch of the site, but such is life. Sometimes you make a play, it doesn't work out. 19-16, Complexity take map 1, and I feel like they should have taken it in normal time. It was